David Sarnoff, Chairman of the Board of RCA. Dr. Vladimir Zworykin, Honorary Vice President and Technical Consultant of RCA.
Dr. Zworykin, every now and then I like to put the calendar back and remember another important occasion when you came to my office. You were a good salesman, and I was a good dreamer. We talked about broadcasting moving images by electronics. And I remember that I asked you what it would cost to develop an all-electronic television system. Do you recall your estimate?
Of course I remember. I asked something like $100,000.
Your estimate missed by quite a bit. It cost RCA more than $50 million to create, develop, and introduce America's first all-electronic television system. And since that time, as you know, RCA has spent another $70 million to pioneer and develop the compatible color television system. But how well that money was spent. We succeeded in extending human sight far beyond the horizon.
Yes, this is wonderful thing about television, the extension of our sight. You are better acquainted with this progress, General, than anyone because of your participation and leadership in so many phases of television development. It was nearly 30 years ago when I came to your office with that tube, the first eye of television.
Yes, I well remember it. Nearly 30 years ago. And what a great invention this tube has become. It certainly has fulfilled its destiny.
Well, General, this is the grandfather of the pickup tube. Do you want to see the newest grandchild?
Well, I'm all for grandchildren. Let's have a look at it.
Well, here it is.
Well, this certainly looks very interesting. What do you expect this grandchild to do?
Well, that's what we call miniature Vidicon. And I hope eventually it will replace all the existing pickup tubes for all the purposes.
Well, that's very interesting and certainly very promising, because what we need to do is to reduce the size and the cost of these components so that television, color television, both at the transmitting and the receiving end, may be within the reach of everyone. That is my hope.
And the men of television long dreamed of capturing the full paint pot of nature and brushing it on the screen. How could it be done? It was not an easy triumph, as General Sarnoff recalls.
When we first began to think of television in the early 20s, we would have been content if only the rose could have been televised in black and white. That miracle had no sooner been achieved when the eye, sensitive to color, observed that the rose in monochrome lacked its true beauty, and the cry went up for color. Never had scientists been put under such pressure and demand. It has been my privilege and a fascinating experience to watch the scientists at work on color television. I marvel at their accomplishment in bringing into focus the principles of radio, optics, electronics, photography, chemistry, and many other essentials so that they might all work together to make color television practical. I congratulate the RCA scientists, researchmen, and engineers who pioneered and developed this new science and art, and then created the compatible color television system and the famed color picture tube.